Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. What an absolutely gorgeous bank holiday weekend it is here in the UK. And my heart goes out to all those in America for Memorial Day weekend and families whose loved ones paid the ultimate sacrifice. And as I bask in the gorgeous sunshine, going out for a little walk, a bit of a morning constitution, I have to ask myself, why is it that we are incessantly bombarded with disingenuous, and I use this next term very loosely, journalists that want to push their own ideological agenda onto franchises and fantasy, when they know full well themselves this only ever goes one way?
There's three things that you can guarantee with life. Number one, death. Boo hiss. Number two, taxes. Taxation is theft. And number three, journalists are absolute scumbags. Case in point, this lovely gentleman here, David Levitt. Oh my God, Donald Trump blocked me on Twitter. I am literally shaking. Whose pastimes include atting corporations on social media in an effort to get hardworking people fired from their jobs. Don't worry, I'll give you an example of that almost immediately. Yes, he's somebody who very much enjoys cancel culture. However, when Turnabout comes onto himself, becomes a coward, because that's what these people are at heart. Here's a case in point. He's harassing this employee of Target because he saw an electric toothbrush on sale for 1 cent. Clearly a display error. When the employee refused to sell it to him for that price, probably admitting that it was a mistake that it was up there, he decided to invoke the full letter of the law. Should we listen to the phone call that he made to the police? Yes. Let's listen to this male Karen.
You have reached the Swansea Police Department's recorded line. If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. Hello, dispatch, Officer Stone.
Hi, this is not an emergency at all, but I'm at the Target.
Oh my God, it sounds totally like this. This is an emergency, however.
In Swansea, trying to make a purchase, and they have it advertised as a price, and they're not honoring the price, and the store manager is saying that they can't honor the price. And I showed them the Massachusetts government website that says that they have to honor the price that's listed in the sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they're not honoring it, I mean, there's nothing that we're going to be able to do. If they don't want to honor it, you'd have to probably go through like the Better Business Bureau or something along those lines.
It says it on the Massachusetts.gov website for retailers.
Nothing we can do about it. Yeah, but like on the website, it says that you're gonna like honor the price. What a waste of police time. Regardless of this is a non-emergency or not, what an absolute waste of police resources by this fucking Karen.
That they have to honor, that it's the state law that they have to honor the price listed on the sign.
Okay. All right, we'll send an officer.
Get him off the phone.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an emergency, so there's no rush. I tried asking them multiple times to honor the price.
Okay. All right, we'll send someone over.
Thank you.
Get off my phone, you fucking Karen. Here he is again, showing the business card with the person's full name and phone numbers. Yes, once again, I have chosen to hide that information because I'm not a doxing piece of shit. Because they say they refused to honor a price match on Nintendo America. This is a very petty, pathetic person, but we're not done yet. He then turned his attention to a poor McDonald's employee. This at McDonald's got to make sure that you at the corporation in an effort to get the person fired, because that's the type of person you are. McDonald's employee refusing to take my order and refill my drink. Wasn't quite as clear as that. I will not be buying anything from at McDonald's. Here we go again. That's for certain. Refusing to refill a cup just costs you thousands of dollars. Bitch, you haven't got thousands of dollars because you're going around all these shops trying to get free shit because you're broke. And it turns out she wasn't refilling his cup because he didn't qualify for it, because he actually went through the drive-through and the refills are only for people who are sitting in the restaurant itself. Otherwise, you can just claim drive-through all day long. Come back, get another refill, come back, get another refill. But no, try to get this employee fired. So the employee decided to take a visit to his place of work, because this successful journalist was also working a retail job.
Are you that guy that gave my boss a hard time? Remember Donna Burnick? Talking to you, Dave. Can I have free stuff? I have 1,083 followers. I can be an asshole too. Yeah.
Oh, poor Dave. Didn't seem to like it when somebody came to his place of work and tried to act like an arsehole, did he? No. Turnaround is fair play, though, is it not? Unless, of course, you're somebody like him, in which case it's only allowed to go one way. Well, guess what, folks? This guy is back, and he's race baiting on behalf of Wizards of the Woke. I mean, Wizards of the Coast, with their Black Aragon. And if you don't like Black Aragon, then suddenly you're a racist. And if you say something logical, then he'll try and get you fired from your job. Let's just have a look, shall we? Mr. 350,000 Twitter followers has this amazing take. The same racist Nazi fuckers who complained about a black elf and rings of power. Because there aren't any black elves. You see, Lord of the Rings, it's British mythology for the Middle Ages. You're a journalist. You should do some research. Look into it. Just because somebody is a certain color doesn't mean that that's racist. Even if that color isn't the one that you want them to be. And a black mermaid? Is that the little black mermaid that's out at the cinema at the moment that is absolutely doing abysmally in the international marketplace because it's a cynical ESG change, blackwashing that we've seen over and over again, particularly with redheaded female characters? Is it something like, okay, and now throwing a fit because there's a black Aragon? I just want to interrupt this for a moment. I want to read you something from the good book. The good book, of course, being Lord of the Rings here. And this is the section in Lord of the Rings where they meet Strider for the first time. And Tolkien describes their features. Frodo found that Strider was now looking at him as if he had heard or guessed all that had been said. Presently, with a wave of his hand and a nod, he invited Frodo to come over and sit by him. As Frodo drew near, he threw back his black hood, showing a shaggy head of dark hair flecked with grey, and in a pale, stern face, a pale, stern face, a pair of keen, grey eyes. You fucking wrote it! You spell Aragon incorrectly, Mr. Journalist Man. Mr. 350k followers on Twitter man. In the new Lord of the Rings Magic the Gathering set, I fucking hate how many races there are in the board game space. Now, I actually responded with this tweet, and don't worry, folks, it ratioed him. It doesn't matter how many Twitter followers you have, 350,000 or 30,000, stupid is stupid. Accept our blackwashing of white characters or you're a racist is essentially what he's saying. So if he doesn't care about Aragorn being changed from a white character to a black character, then he shouldn't have any problem, of course, with Ryan Gosling taking over the mantle of Black Panther. But we all know this is horseshit, and we all know that of course he would, because this change, these type of race changes only go in one direction, because as Eric July would say, they only ever see legitimacy in white characters. And if race doesn't matter so much, doesn't matter. Why does it matter if he's black? Why does it matter if he's this? Why does it matter if they're that? Then why is it always white characters that are getting changed and not the reverse? Because clearly it matters to them. And Dave reverts back to factory settings when he's confronted with something that's very logical indeed. Big thanks to Data Racer for pointing this in my direction. This caused me to go down the rabbit hole that you saw earlier in the video. This chap here called Chris, he just says a sensible statement. That's a badass sword and awesome artwork. It is a badass sword, and yes, it is awesome artwork. And it would be interesting to see a character like that and what story can be created around it in an original setting. But it's just not Aragorn, correct? You're just pandering, and it's pretty dang pathetic. It's insulting too, yes. As Gary would say from Nerdrotic, the bigotry of low expectation. Just make an original badass black character and leave Aragorn the way Tolkien created him. I think that's a pretty sensible statement. So how does David, Mr. 350,000 followers on Twitter, Mr. Big Time Journalist that actually works retail and electronics store, Mr. I gotta try and go around every shop and get things for free because I'm broke, how does he respond to this sensible statement? Oh, with a threat. It would be a shame if Chris's employer and friends found out he's a racist. Reverting back to factory settings. Trying to get somebody with a sensible statement fired. Look, it's clear from the video David is fucking mental, all right? He's a pathetic gamma male that wants everything for free, probably because he's broke, that has a lot of followers but has no work from it, that's done all this journalism, hasn't landed him a job that he wanted, clearly. Somebody bitter. This is why you never, ever back down to these people. You never give up your sensible nature. You never give up your logic. And you gatekeep the fuck out of your franchises. Because people like this come in and they want to ruin it. Wizards of the Coast, they get a license and then they woke it all up. And all they do is cause more and more and more division. They are not healthy for franchises. They are poison and they are toxic. And it only ever goes in one direction. I don't give two shits what he calls me. He could call me a racist, a bigot. It doesn't matter. His words are meaningless. Only if you get offended, only if you back down do you show that they have power. But when you stand up to pathetic bullies like this, when you say that two-letter word which is so important, no, then this is what they have to do. Everybody who disagrees with me is Hitler. They have to revert to that pathetic nature because they don't actually have a legitimate argument as to why these changes are being made, other than it panders to their ideological point of view. Fuck them. And this gamma male, Never back down. Fight, guard your franchises, protect them, and honor them at all costs. I'll see you in the next video. You take care. Bye for now.